Greetings. So once again, I'm going to talk about YouTube and how you're supposed to grow your channel, get more people to subscribe to it, keep people around. And I know that some folks are going to look and say, okay, you only have 638 people. What do you know about it? Just because I don't have a whole bunch of numbers does not mean I don't research. And so I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of research for at least 2 or 3 years. And I always hit upon different things. And so today, that's what I'm going to talk about. And, you know, it turns out that the biggest thing to help your channel grow and to get a lot more views is basically the suggested videos area. And that is if you go to watch a video and you're on that channel, and if you just pause it for a minute and you look to the right, you will see a whole bunch of videos. And, you know, YouTube's term is suggested videos. And what I did is I looked at some of those videos, and initially I had all these names on there, you know, people who I was going to try to research and do whatever. And then I realized that that's actually showing what my suggested videos are. I mean, that's what it's suggesting to me. That's not what it's suggesting to anybody else. That's just me. So that makes no sense. And then I had also looked at my own videos, and I had very few suggested videos, and I realized once again, oh, that's about me. So since I rarely watch my own videos, at least on this same channel, because every once in a while I like to check out some of the videos that I do just to see how they went, what they look like online as opposed to what they look like on the computer. So that wasn't any good. But I can sit here and tell you that in essence you get to have two choices. One of those choices is you want to work on making your channel grow so you can monetize it and hopefully get a lot of people subscribing to it just because it feels good. I'm not going to lie. That would be really nice. If I could get to that 1,000 number, I'd love that. I'd love to get to 5,000. But since it's, 11, 12 years and I'm at 638, it's going to be slow. However, there's the other side, which is when you get to interact with people, how you touch people, that feels pretty good. In the last week, I have had 3 different people who've watched older videos of mine, not the new ones, but older videos of mine, who have written me, you know, left a message saying how much they appreciated it and how they learned something from it, how they weren't able to get that information from anybody else. Asked me a question. One person asked me a question. I was able to answer that question. The person thanked me for that. And I thought, you know what? That really is my own personal engagement. That's what I've always wanted to do on YouTube. That's what I've always wanted to do on my blogs. That's, you know, when I put an article or something on LinkedIn. The idea that there's someone out there I'm touching actually feels really good. So if I had to choose between getting a whole bunch of subscribers so that I could make some money or touching people, I picked the touching people. Because let's face the facts here. Unless I get to something like 10 or 50,000 subscribers, I'm not going to make much money. True, it always depends on what niche you're talking about and if you're going to sell products in that niche. And, you know, sometimes that's lucrative for a lot of people. Me, it ain't going to happen. So I still had some things that I could share, which I thought was interesting. So in order to get the suggested videos, the main thing you have to do is try to get that retention. And also the thing about keeping the people who are subscribed to you coming also means getting them to the end, because that's really the big number. And it's suggested, although not many people reach it, believe it or not, that if you can get 50% of your viewers to watch your video to the very end, then you're going to be very successful. I ain't got that. It would be nice, but no. As a matter of fact, my average is about 11%. So that's actually surprising. I get 11% on average. That doesn't mean every single video I do gets me there, but on average, that's what YouTube tells me, is that 11% of my viewers will watch it to the end. And I'm thinking, you know, that's not necessarily so bad. I mean, it's not the best number in the world, But if it was like around 2 or 3, which I did have on a couple of videos, it's like, wow, maybe that one was too long, or maybe I just didn't hit the topic. But in general, that's what you're looking to try to do. And it's hard to do it. I have looked at the videos that have gone that far, where I've done really well. And it's interesting in the fact that the ones that do best are the ones where I've talked about a product that almost no one else has talked about, or I've talked about it in a way where people are curious about it and they will watch that to the end. For instance, I did something on cycloprazidine, I can't pronounce, cycloprazidone, which was a muscle relaxer that I was given to take after I'd had my shoulder surgery. And I talked about that. A lot of people watched that one to the end. I did the video where I talked about heat holder socks. And it only got 90 views, but that's the most views that any of my videos have gotten this year. And that one had 11%. But I did another one 2 weeks ago, 2 videos ago. I did one where I talked about the 5 people you'd like to invite to dinner. And I got 31% of people who watched that one to the end. I love that. Thank you so much. But it didn't generate more subscribers because I only had 17 people to watch it. Still, that means that a third of the people who watched that video watched it to the end. I'm not so mad at that. So what I average, though, this is very interesting for me, because basically for all the videos I've done in 2022, I've averaged 18 viewers per video. Now, since some of those videos have only made like 10 or 11 or 16, obviously those didn't get it. But the one where I talked about the socks, I got, 90 viewers for that. So that's not, it's not super, super great, but it's still, 90 people decided to check that out. But it's not all, subscribers. I mean, it's not like all, yeah, that's what I meant to say. It's not just subscribers. It turns out that for subscribers, for me, I pretty much only get about 2% of the people who subscribe who are, coming back all that often. And that's not necessarily good. I don't really know how to reach those folks as much, but there are times where it happens. For instance, back in March, I did a video talking about the 6-month anniversary of my mother's passing. And that video, I got 62 viewers, but out of that 62, 50% of them were returning visitors. So I said, thank you. That felt very nice. The other side of that is that only 11% watched it to the very end. And halfway through the video, because it was about 13 minutes long, and halfway was a little over 6 minutes, I only made it to 31%. Still, I had a lot of people who at least came and they, at least made it, halfway through. So, I take it like that and I say, I can deal with that because, it's kind of a depressing video. I mean, it's just me pouring my heart out. Sometimes you just have to do that. So I don't really have a whole bunch of suggestions because the idea says, how do you keep people to the end? Well, it depends on what school you want to be in. For instance, a lot of people who talk about YouTube and how you should do it says you need to put the strongest stuff in front so that way you can keep your audience. But then you'll have some who will say, start out with one thing, but then build up on it so that people will stay to the end because they really want to see, okay, what is he going to end with? Or what is she going to end with? You know what? I think it depends on the personality. It depends on the topic because it doesn't happen for everyone. I went and tried to look, like I said, at other people. And I bet that some of them have the exact same drop-off that I have. But, they've hit niches where they've been able to keep people around or they've got good personality. Because I looked at some of the people. These are the people I watch, a lot. And so like this young lady named Kelly Stamps, I just find that she's fascinating. Just turned 27, and her channel basically blew up only 2.5 years ago, and she's now got 665,000 subscribers. And she hit this number, and then it just kind of slowed down on her. So even though she's at 665 now, I think at the beginning of the year she was around 660,000. So she hasn't really increased that, but she does have a loyal following. That works a lot. Sonny Lenarduzzi. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I don't say it right. Anyhow, she's got 542 subscribers, and she talks about, ways of generating business and trying to keep engagement or whatever. Well, she changed what she used to talk about, which used to be YouTube, how to do well on YouTube, and now she talks more about business. And she had a minor dip for a while there, but she's been able to still hang around. 542,000 people, that's kind of cool. But then you have someone like Philip DeFranco, 6.3 million subscribers. He's been on YouTube a little over 10 years. He has changed a lot from what he used to be way back when till now. I only started subscribing to him about 2 years ago because he talked about a lot of stuff back then that I really wasn't interested in. And he was basically a kid in my terms. I think it's over 10 years. And some of the stuff he was sharing is like, that's not going to do it for me. But now he mainly talks about news. He has his routine down, and he does well at 6.3. And I'm sure that he would get a whole lot of people who return just because he's Philip DeFranco and he's been around a long time. What I found interesting is that for me, I only got 3 out of 20 recommendations that were his channel. I thought, well, that's interesting. So, you have stuff like that where you say, if you can be this personality that people like, maybe they'll sit there and they'll listen to it. But you know what? I'm still here. I've been here a good long time. There are a lot of people whose channels I've watched who have dropped off, and I'm still here. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for everybody else. I don't know if it's a good thing for me. But I've never been a quitter. So y'all are stuck with me for a while. And, I don't know if I've helped you or not. I don't know if I've just rambled. I hope I've given some kind of help. And, if I have, please let me know. If I haven't, mention that too. But I'm here, still putting out videos. Let's see where it all goes. My name's Mitch Mitchell. I'll see y'all later.